What's up, guys? My name is Justin. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back on Gran Turismo 4 for another car story, and today we are going to be talking out the legendary and somewhat infamous Lancia Delta S4. So let's fire off. Let's get started on this very special Grand Canyon rally stage. First time we've come to a rally in this car story, and we'll talk about this car and the incredible yet sometimes dark history. I'll make it clear I'm awful at rally, so this is going to be very ugly. There will be lots of mistakes and wall hits, but ignore it, I'm bad. So technically this is supposed to be Grand Canyon, I guess. I don't know what that means exactly, but this car is insanely powerful, which makes sense because, of course, this is the very end of Group B. Was basically directly tied to this car, but also indirectly tied to this car. So, yeah, it's got like 450 horsepower, which in a car from the 1980s that was, not built for any kind of safety measures, obviously, and we're doing that kind of speed off-road. It was incredible. I love how all the spectators stand in the middle of the road, then run to the side with their cameras and stuff. That's pretty cool. That's a good touch, good feature. So this is awful driving by me, but that's okay. So this car was developed by Lancia in the early to mid 1980s for Group B Rally, which is the top level of rallying in the World Rally Championship, or what it would become at least. Can you see the Grand Canyon there? Oh, they can't. Holy shit, that looks cool. That's pretty damn awesome. I don't know if you can fall off. We're not going to try it, obviously. And again, we're driving awfully. We're going quite slow, but just trying to make laps do something a little different. Apparently, you can't drive through that fence, at least, so that's good. Not sure about these ones up here, but we're going to try to avoid that. But anyways, this car was developed by Lancia to be the greatest thing ever, and basically go up against the Audi Quattro, which was a brand new phenomenon before, whatever it was, the early 80s. All the World Rally cars were just normal cars, rear-wheel drive, whatever, the Opel Kadett, other things I'm sure that I'm not thinking of, Ford Escort. And then the Quattro came along, displayed the superiority of four-wheel drive, and then rallying can never be the same again. You couldn't compete with a rear-wheel drive car. So, yeah, that came along. The Quattro was great for a few years, and then Lancia said, all right, it's our turn. We're going to have our time. The Ford came out with the RS200, of course, which is an incredible car, but this car is kind of known as the Group B endgame. Obviously very fast, very powerful, an incredible car, and was also very dangerous. This car was involved in a couple of major accidents, but most notably, unfortunately, Henry Toivonen and his co-driver Sergio Cresto died during the Rally of Corsica in 1986. And again, there were some other impacts or some other incidents that impacted fans, resulted in a few fan fatalities and stuff, but this car was kind of the end game. It was the most dangerous. It fell off a cliff with Toivonen and Cresto and essentially burned, and because of where it was, they couldn't locate it, couldn't get there in time. Nobody really knew. Okay, that was slick, Justin. And they just kind of charred in their seats, unfortunately. The thing was just a big kind of flamethrower, essentially. So very sad, very awful, tragic story about them and what they went through and their sacrifices. And of course, at the time, Toivonen was regarded as probably the best rally driver in the world. He was leading the championship, leading the Rally of Corsica at the time of his passing. And Sergio Cresto, as I could not drive straight, Sergio Cresto was regarded as one of the best co-drivers in the world. So very sad, very tragic, and the FIA or ACO, whatever they were called at the time, kind of realized that Group B would become too crazy, it would become too fast, had become too much. And then so it kind of basically died overnight. I don't even remember if they finished the 1986 season or not, but they went to different formula, lower power, less insanity for the late 1980s and beyond. And to this day, we see more 2, 3, 4 liter rally cars like the Peugeots and Citroens and Ford Focus and Fiesta and other things along those lines. Nothing with 500 or 600 horsepower like you had back in the 80s. So Group B was definitely, in my opinion, although I'm not a rally guy, not a rally fan by any means, definitely the peak, definitely the heyday of rallying in the world. And thankfully we'll never see that again, though, because although racing is a very dangerous sport, obviously, no matter the form, you never want to see someone die in a race car. So definitely an interesting car, a very, very special car, a very unique car, and again, something that will never really be replicated. But obviously the fans were crazy. There are stories of the Lancia and other teams talking about, especially in places like Portugal, for whatever reason, I don't know why that is, but they would literally find fingers in the intakes of the cars because the fans and spectators would stand so close to the course. That's part of why it was so dangerous. Any mistake would kill several fans, unfortunately. But they talked about they would literally find fingers in the intakes from people trying to reach out and touch the car as it drove by, and obviously their fingers would get stuck in the intakes, and it was kind of almost a badge of honor. But it got way out of hand. It became much too dangerous, and again, it probably could have continued. There was already a lot of speculation about it being too crazy and too fast at the time of Toivonen and Presto's death, but that was kind of the last straw. That was it. Most of the major manufacturers pulled out after that. The rally of Rally of Corsica, I think that's in France. Rally of Corsica ended up being contested by some of the non-factory teams, but Lancia and a lot of the other factory teams pulled out immediately after that, and that was the end of Group B, unfortunately. So, very special car, very unique car, obviously an incredible car for a number of reasons, and just so thankful that it's on this game and that we get a chance to review it and look at it and hear it and talk about it, and just imagine what it must have been like to drive this car, because I'm struggling big time as a rally noob, just driving it in the game around whatever this is, Grand Canyon course. That's the same corner I went off and died last time. But so yeah, just an incredible piece of machinery, obviously, and so glad that it's in not just this game, but several games, and that we can revisit it and see what it was like and just catch a glimpse of the incredible bravery and skill that these drivers had back then to get these things around very tight, technical mixed surface race courses, and how special that era was, not just for rally, but for cars and manufacturers and racing in general. So yeah, we'll do one more lap here, but I will just talk a little bit less and let you enjoy the sights and sounds, and hopefully not go off at that one corner again. But hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure you drop that like, sub down below. Don't want you to miss anything from Gran Turismo 4 car stories, iRacing, Camaro content, track day content, other racing games, anything else we do. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you, and so blessed that I have this opportunity to showcase some incredible cars and tell some great stories. So that's going to be it from me. I hope you all enjoy it. Until next time, though, as always, bye. Made through that corner. All right.